Hello and welcome to the Wrestling Group. I'm your host for today's video, Matt, and for today we will be looking at my top 5 WWE wrestlers that should have been WWE World Champion. So remember, there's so many people out there that could have been a world champion, so it's hard to just summarise it down to just 5. There's going to be some people in there that probably people are going to disagree with. I've already spoke to my colleague Ryan about one of my picks, and he says that Roddy Piper should be number 1. And it's not like I don't agree. I just didn't really grow up with Roddy Piper, watching Roddy Piper and stuff. It's not like I haven't seen any of his stuff, because I have, but I just feel like these 5 that I've picked are the top 5 that I would have liked to see as world champion. So with that said, going forward, remember to like this video, subscribe to be notified when we upload more, and comment below on your top 5 on who you want to see as WWE World Champion. So starting at number 5, we have Matt Hardy. So he has been with the company since 1994 as part of the Hardy Boys alongside his brother Jeff, who, unlike Matt, has won multiple world titles in the company. Matt would be released in 2005 but be re-signed a few months later to feud with Edge and Lita, because they had the whole real life thing going on. Obviously Edge had Lita had cheated on Matt with Edge in real life, and caused a big commotion. Matt Hardy had the telephone thing. I can't remember what it was called now, but they used to call up and talk to wrestlers. And a few wrestlers did this. Like Stone Cold called up at one point. I think he was talking to Vince. And then you had this Matt Hardy one, which is one of the most famous ones, where he calls up and starts kicking off down the phone to Lita. But he ends up using all their real names and everything. He doesn't kayfabe it at all. And it sparked the real thing, and Vince used it as a stepping stone to make a big rivalry from in the company. And the matches they had were good. The storytelling was absolutely brilliant because it was so real. There was no way to fake hardly any of it. How they worked together during all that, I'll never know as well. That's a tough pill to swallow and work well with each other. I think that probably would have been the perfect time to put the title on Matt, to be fair. He was having great matches with Edge, as I say. Not to say that he hasn't had other good runs in the company. So, for example, I enjoyed his run in 2007, because that's when I started watching it. And he was feuding with MVP. He won the United States title. He won the tag team titles with MVP, funnily enough. But he had a good little singles run on the main roster at that point. But he has had some good single runs, winning the Cruiserweight title one time, the Hardcore title one time, the European title one time, the United States title one time, and he did win the ECW title once as well. But as the ECW title wasn't really considered a top world, a standby title with the world title and the WWE, the title lost most credibility after the rebirth of ECW. It's not like it was the same world title anymore. So I don't really counter in this, but he should have definitely won the world title. I think I'd have liked to seen him with the big gold more than WWE. As shown, he can be a world champion. He's won it twice in TNA. He was world champ, and he had good characters going along with that as well. So with that said, moving on to number 4. I have William Regal. I think many people will agree on this one. He's so underrated. So he was signed to the WWF and now the WWE back in 1998, and he has had many roles in the company, being a wrestler, general manager for both Raw and NXT, and now his current role as Vice President of Global Talent Development. He is one of the most underrated wrestlers. He always made his opponents look good in the ring and won many accomplishments in his career, but never catching the big one. He would be a 3-time hardcore champion, a 4-time European champion, also only being one of 2 European people to actually hold that title, alongside the British Bulldog. He was a 2-time Intercontinental Champion and a 4-time World Tag Team Champion, once with Lance Storm, twice with Eugene, and another with Tajiri. And as also, he's been a King of the Ring winner in 2008. I think that would have been the perfect time to do it, as he was on a great heel run, winning the IC title, which I was actually in attendance for that night. He was facing Santino Marella, and it was my first ever wrestling pay-per-view. I think I was like 10, something like that. And at the time, I actually was, because I was a kid, I liked the face guy and I hated the heel, so I was all for Santino Marella. But the William Regal just beat him in like squash match, and I just remember the crowd going absolutely crazy. I physically remember it, and then I've gone back and watched it as well since then, and you can hear like the hometown crowd, and I feel like I kind of regret that I didn't cheer him on. But I was a kid, what did I know? But unfortunately, he was never in the top spot. Maybe his son, NXT's Charlie Dempsey, can do what his dad could not, and hopefully win the big one. Right, so then moving on to number 3, I have Umaga. He would sign with WWE in 2001 and debut on Raw in July of 2002 as part of the tag team 3-Minute Warning, also going by the name Jamal. They would basically be Eric Bischoff's hit squad, or bodyguards, whatever you want to call them. He would be released in June. He would be released in June the next year, due to a bar fight. He would go to TNA and All Japan Pro Wrestling until 2005, where he would return under the name Umaga. He would go undefeated from 2005 until 2007, having matches with big stars. The match he first lost was for the WWE title, funnily enough, and also it was my very first pay-per-view that I've ever done, and I've also done a looking back video on that on the channel, so if you go back through our looking back videos, you'll find the WWE New Year's Revolution 2007, and it's just a little rundown of the pay-per-view and what I thought of it, and because it was my first pay-per-view. I will be doing more of them. So yeah, he lost against John Cena, but he should have won, I think, and then lost it the next month at the Royal Rumble, because that last man standing match is absolutely brilliant. I think it's my favourite last man standing match, to be honest, and 100% made sense for John Cena to win that one. But I feel like even if Umaga just won it just for a month, it would have added a little bit more credibility to his name. Yeah, maybe he would have lost it a few weeks later, but that'd have been fine with me because, as I say, it made sense for Cena to win that last man standing match, but then it would have gave a good send off for Umaga's undefeated streak. But unfortunately, despite having many world title opportunities, he would never win the big one. But he would win the IC title twice before, unfortunately, passing away in December of 2009, never knowing if he could be the top guy of the company. So when you think of some of the best wrestlers, you have to put Kurt Hennig, Mr. Perfect, up there. He had a few runs in the company from 1981 to 1983. Then again in 1988 to 1996. And finally in 2002, where he'd return at the Royal Rumble. He would be released for many reasons, but final straw was the infamous plane ride from hell story. If you don't know about this plane ride from hell story, go and read it up. There's so many stories. I think there's a Dark Side of the Ring episode about it, to be honest, so you might just be able to go and watch it. There'll definitely be a podcast or something somewhere anyway. But definitely go read that up. He would be a 2-time Intercontinental Champion. His best years to win the title was during his second run, 100% in the company. He was so good in his prime, truly showing he is a top-tier wrestler. But unfortunately, he would pass away in February 2003. So never really knowing if he could have maybe had a little world title run. I think he went to TNA. He got released, I think, in 2003. And then I think he went to TNA before passing away, I think. I could be wrong on that, though. Right, and then, so we do have number 1, but I'm going to give you a little rundown first. So, in at number 5, we had Matt Hardy. In at number 4, we had William Regal. In at number 2, we have Umaga. And in at number 2... Wait, I think I said 3. 3 is Umaga, and at number 2 is Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig. And then number 1 is such a hard one to do. As I say, there are so many wrestlers that haven't been world champion. There's so many people that haven't been world champion in the company at the moment yet that may never get a title run as well. Obviously, I hope they need to give Chad Gable a world title run. In my eyes, 100%. But he is still in the company, so I did not put him on this list. But my number 1 is Wade Barrett. I don't think he's probably going to be getting back in the ring, and if he does, I don't think it'll be for the world title run. Probably for a one-off or a few matches every now and again, like Booker T used to do. When he'd been an announcer, he used to have a few matches, and he had the rivalry with Cody Rhodes. He ended up doing a few tag matches, I think, as well. And a few Royal Rumble appearances. So he would sign in 2006, going through WWE's developmental brands, like OVW, FCW, which is Ohio Valley Wrestling, and Florida Championship Wrestling. And NXT, but the first NXT, so it was different to what NXT is now. NXT was like a tournament, kind of, and the winner got a contract and to the main roster, and they got a world title opportunity. Finally, he'd make his debut on the Raw in June of 2010 as the leader of the Nexus faction, becoming a force in the company. The Nexus would make a threat to the roster, winning tag gold between the group. He would have a world title opportunity during this run, but would not win it, which was, I feel like that was the best time for him to win, and have the Nexus go over. But also, there is another time where he could have won the title, is during his Bad News Barrett character as well. It was absolutely amazing. I loved the Bad News Barrett. It was so good. He had, he had a great run as an IC champion as well during that. Everyone was behind him at that point as well. Everyone was always like, I'm afraid I've got some bad news. It's absolutely brilliant. He was a 5-time IC champion as well. That's up there. I think Chris Jericho still holds the most. I think is it 9. and then I think someone's just underneath now with, I think it's the Miz, and then it could possibly be Wade Barrett, number 3, but yeah, 5-time Intercontinental Champion, and also a King of the Ring winner. I can't remember what year. I think it might have been 2011, maybe 12, one of them. Or it might have been a bit later. But unfortunately, he would be released in the year of 2016. So again, never knowing if he would be able to hold the big gold. So yeah, guys, that is my top 5 people who should have been world champion in WWE. So let me know in the comments below on who you think should win, and remember to like this video and subscribe to be notified when we upload more, as we will be doing more videos very soon. So thanks for listening. Have a nice day.